leader. KBLA Talk 1580. Follow the leader.
If you're not following KBLA Talk 1580 on all of our socials, then you're missing out. Download our app and find us on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, and on the web at KBLA 1580.
That's right.
Again, you can find all of our socials at KBLA 1580.
We've got a lot to talk about.
By the way, if you miss any of our weekday shows in real time, you can always catch up by checking out the podcast of your favorite shows at your leisure. At KBLA Talk 1580, we've got your black.
Got your beer.
Follow the leader.
Following the leader.
Oh my God.
Follow the leader. Follow the leader. Follow the leader. Follow the leader. Follow the leader.
Hour number 2 of the Friday edition of Areva Martin in Real Time. It's Avi Bernard here with you. Let's get you all caught up. 2 U.S. hostages abducted by Hamas, both related to former NBC correspondent Martin Fletcher, have been released today. Judith Renan and her daughter Natalie fell into the clutches of Hamas after the militants October 7th launched a surprise terror attack on Israel. They had been staying in southern Israel. Their release was announced by the Israeli Prime Minister's office and confirmed by Fletcher a day after the former correspondent went public and said that 2 members of his wife's family had been held hostage by Hamas. Rep. Jim Jordan, Republican of Ohio, dropped out of the speaker's race today after he lost a vote of confidence during a closed-door meeting of House Republicans just moments after he was defeated on the House for a 3rd time this week. The internal secret ballot vote was 86 Republicans for Jordan and 112 saying they wanted to move on and pick someone else. House Republicans will now recess until Monday when they will hold another Speaker candidates forum in the evening. That's a Freudian slip right there. Some of them should be arrested. Those interested in running have until noon Eastern Sunday to declare their candidacy. Among those running, Black Republican Byron Donald of Florida, who is a member of the hard-right House Freedom Caucus. Trump campaign legal advisor Kenneth Cheesebro struck a deal with prosecutors from the Fulton County, Georgia District Attorney's Office in its 2020 election interference case today. Cheesebro was charged alongside Donald Trump and more than a dozen other co-defendants with attempting to delay the transfer of power after the 2020 election and he was scheduled to stand trial this week. He accepted the offer as jury selection was underway today. He had rejected an earlier deal late last month. The Trump attorney faces 5 years probation, a $5,000 fine, 100 hours of community service, and he must continue to provide documents and evidence to the state. Cheesebro is the 2nd Trump attorney to plead guilty and the 3rd co-defendant charged in the case to take a plea deal with Fulton County prosecutors. Former Trump attorney Sidney Powell, who you just heard featured on our What in the White Privilege segment, entered a guilty plea unexpectedly on Thursday morning. The 2 lawyers were set to stand trial together before both pleading guilty in the case. Judge Arthur Engeron scolded Donald Trump in court today and later issued a $5,000 fine against the former president for violating the gag order he had set in the financial fraud case. He also raised the specter of further penalties for future infractions, such as heftier fines as well as jail time. Trump failed to delete an inflammatory post about a court clerk from his campaign website weeks after the judge had ordered him to do so. The original post was shared on Trump's social media site and was ultimately deleted, but the campaign website did not delete the post. The judge asked Trump's attorney about why they didn't delete it, and Trump's attorney said, our bad. We didn't mean to do that. A federal bankruptcy judge yesterday ruled that bankruptcy proceedings will not shield InfoWars host Alex Jones from more than $1.1 billion in damages he owes the families of Sandy Hook shooting victims who won a civil defamation case against him in Connecticut last year. The families filed a motion in May asking the court to force Jones to pay the trial damages and rule out the possibility of a forced settlement in Chapter 11 proceedings. Jones filed for personal bankruptcy last December after he was ordered to pay nearly $1.5 billion with a B in the Connecticut case brought by the family members of 8 shooting victims and a first responder. The family sued Jones over his false claims about the December 2012 shooting at an elementary school in Newton, Connecticut that left 26 dead, including 20 children. According to TMZ, Suge Knight is working with Dave Mays, co-founder of The Source and CEO of Breakbeat Media, to start a podcast titled Collect Calls with Suge Knight. The series is set to debut this month on Halloween. Knight is currently serving a 28-year prison sentence for a 2015 hit-and-run murder during the filming of Straight Outta Compton. And one of the main topics for this coming hour, a white man is facing prison time in the racist attack of a black historian, Marvin Dunn. That attack took place in Rosewood, the very grounds of the tragic race massacre that claimed an entire town of black people. This black historian was having a meeting with several other people about a peace house in honor of the Rosewood massacre when he was racially attacked. And now he is asking for leniency for his racist attacker. Would you do the same? Would that be you? Would you be asking for leniency from the judge for someone who called you the N-word and assaulted you? If you want to weigh in, give us a call, 800-920-1580. That's 800-920-1580. And we will talk all about it when we come forward right here on KBLA Talk 1580.
She's the real deal in real time. You're listening to Areva Martin in real time on KBLA Talk 1580.
A sense of peace, a place to kick back and put down roots. A lasting legacy. However you define home, at City National, we're committed to helping you get there with our City National Ladder Up Home Loan Program. Find the full benefits at cnb.com/ladderuphome. City National Bank, here for our clients and communities. Ladder Up program is available only in select areas. Terms and conditions apply. Not all applicants will qualify. City National Bank is an equal housing lender. Member FDIC. NMLS ID 536994.
The Los Angeles Urban League helps African American and others in underserved communities achieve true social parity, economic self-reliance, and civil rights. For over 100 years, Los Angeles Urban League has ensured our communities have access to careers with living wages, opportunities to start and grow businesses, and clear pathways to personal and professional growth. Programs like Biz Camp, Construction Career Academy, Bob Business Ready, and B-Warp. The Black Wealth Attainment and Retention Program are examples of the ongoing events designed to make our centennial mission to rebuild Black Wall Street right here in LA a reality. To sign up for our newsletter or to support the Los Angeles Urban League with your time, talent, and donations, visit laul.org. That's laul.org. The Los Angeles Urban League is a proud sponsor of Urban Family Focus, Saturdays at 7 a.m. on KBLA Talk 1580.
Moments like seeing my son's team cheer him on mean a lot to me. But after being diagnosed with metastatic breast cancer, or MBC, which is breast cancer that has spread to other parts of the body, they mean even more. I take Ibrance, palbociclib.
Ibrance 125 milligram tablets with an aromatase inhibitor is for adults with HR-positive HER2-negative MBC as the first hormonal-based therapy. Ask your doctor about Ibrance and visit Ibrance.com. Ibrance may cause low white blood cell counts that may lead to serious infections. Ibrance may cause severe inflammation of the lungs. Both of these can lead to death. Tell your doctor right away if you have new or worsening symptoms, including trouble breathing, shortness of breath, cough, or chest pain. Before taking Ibrance, tell your doctor if you have fever, chills, or other signs of infection, liver or kidney problems, are or plan to become pregnant, or are breastfeeding. Common side effects include low red blood cell and low platelet counts, infections, tiredness, nausea, sore mouth, abnormalities in liver blood tests, diarrhea, hair thinning or loss, vomiting, rash, and loss of appetite.
No young person should ever have to worry about having a safe place to sleep at night, or whether anyone cares about them.
But the reality is, 1 in 10 young adults will experience a form of homelessness this year.
For over 50 years, Covenant House has been helping youth in crisis and giving them the support and tools they need to succeed in life. To learn more, go to covenanthouse.org today. Thank you for caring.
present. Let's get back to more of Areva Martin in real time on KBLA Talk 1580.
Thank you for joining us for the Friday edition of Areva Martin in real time. Avi Bernard here with you every Friday from 4 to 6 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. And appreciate you joining us, whether you're listening on the radio on 1580 AM here in Los Angeles, or the free KBLA app, or, of course, listening to and watching us on YouTube. So, joined by Danny Griffin, educator, entrepreneur, and motivational speaker. Danny, I just wanted to talk about this situation in Florida with this, it's always something in Florida, right?
Hilarious.
But this dude, Marvin Dunn, he's a historian, and he was attacked in Rosewood. Rosewood, the race massacre that claimed the entire town of black people happened at Rosewood, and in 1923, a mob of 200 white men just massacred the community, similar to Tulsa. And so this historian, Marvin Dunn, black man, was standing there with a group of people, black and white, and talking about creating a peace house to kind of commemorate the massacre in Rosewood. And this white dude comes up in a truck and starts yelling the N-word at everybody. He was unprovoked. He just he drove his truck at them at full speed as if he was going to hit them. Authorities say he was arrested a week later for aggravated assault with a deadly weapon and allegedly complained on his way down to the jailhouse, "I ain't even do nothing. Y'all doing this over an N-word?" And this is what Dunn said to the judge. Told you we were going to read his statement to you. Dunn said, quote, "For me, my faith requires forgiveness, and so I must. It requires me to love my neighbor as well, but I have more work to do on that. I am not asking my neighbor to love me or even to apologize to us. I only ask that he assures the court that we can live in peace as neighbors." This is something that is confusing to me, because I get that some people they feel bound by religion to forgive people. But this is an instance where this dude could have killed you and probably wanted to. And you're not even asking for an apology. You're asking for an assurance that that you can live as neighbors in peace, but he just showed you that you can't live as neighbors in peace. And if he doesn't apologize, what makes you think that there's any contrition there? And so, if you want to get involved in this conversation, 800-920-1580, 800-920-1580. But, Danny, what are your thoughts on this? Because it seems to me, when you have situations like this happen, where the assailant was unprovoked. He saw a group of black people talking, and it made him mad. Especially given the backdrop of where this happened in Rosewood. It's been 100 years exactly since that happened. So, what do you make of Marvin Dunn, a black historian, trying to get some leniency from the judge for his attacker? And his attacker was charged with 6 hate crimes. A sentence of 10 years, I think, was initially recommended, and I think the judge ended up giving him, for all 6 hate crimes, 1 year plus 1 day for each hate crime, so about 6 years. But Danny, what are your thoughts?
Well, first of all, my hat goes off to Mr. Dunn. I'm going to tell you why. I think he's 83. So he grew up in the civil rights era, and he's from an area where there was a tremendous amount of racism, and oppression. Mm-hmm. And I'm sure he was in tune with his ancestry and his his background. So I'm sure he knows a lot more than what he lived, and he respects that. So, and he's highly educated. He's a professor, and he's obviously a devout Christian. So he's trying to make a change. He understands that, his life expectancy, he's in fourth quarter. He's 82, 83. To make a serious difference, he's saying that in order to move forward for generational, right, his kids, his grandchildren, and Mr. Emmanuel's grandchildren, he's going to do something.
Mr. Emmanuel is his attacker.
Yeah, he's going to do something totally different to go move forward for people to forgive. Because racism is a serious rock in the road. That's what he said. Racism is a thorn in our side, and racism is something that is not making us progress in terms of humanity. And people could say all they want to, it's been around 1,000 years, never is going to stop. Bull crap. It starts with stuff like this. I love this, and I'm going to tell you why. Because of the simple fact that he is getting national attention, he's turning the cheek, they're alive. God blessed him and his son. They didn't get hurt. And obviously, the man hasn't changed. But he's making a change. It's not always about the person that attacked you. It's about how you react to it as an individual. Because you can make change by your actions to change somebody else from doing the same thing to somebody else. It's not always about Mr. Emmanuel. We don't know how much time he got left on this earth. But it's about his grandkids. Because when his grandkids get older, or somebody in the community that may be non-African American, they're going to be like, you know what? The African American man and all of his friends could have railroaded this guy. And even the police chief said, I never had many problems with Mr. Emmanuel. They wrote letters on his behalf to try to keep him from getting prosecuted for a lot of years. Now, a lot of people going crazy because this is Florida. This is this, all this stuff. But I get it. I get what he's saying because this is not my time. I'm 83. I lived this. God has blessed me to get where I am. But I'm going to prevent people in the future from going through this same thing if I can, or show them that we can do something different. Because if everybody just railroads people, that's us. That's what's been happening to African American people for centuries. We don't get fair trials. We don't get this. We don't get that. We don't get this. All that. So now we got a chance to be in the opposite seat, and we doing something different. I love it. I actually love it, and I can see myself doing something like this, as long as I didn't get hit though, because if we get hit, it's totally different. But I understand what you're saying. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
I know, because I'm looking at your face. I'll be like, nah, man.
Hey, listen, it's okay to disagree. But
this is just me because of how I was raised, and I knew my great grandmother when she was 90-something, and I knew the stuff that she told me, and I knew my grandmother. I'm a big historian guy, and I'm really big on people in the past and what they done for us to get here, and then how I was raised. This is me all day.
But you're saying this is how we make changes, but
some of us in some areas, with some people.
No, right? But you're talking about to make progress with the problem of racism in this country. I don't know that there can be progress without accountability.
True.
And
that's why the judge gave him this time, because he said if other people out there that's thinking about doing the same thing think they can get off, they're going to keep doing it. Now, honestly, 1 year is still basically nothing, and he got 2-year probation. So he probably should have did a little bit more of that 10. To me, 5 would have been 3 to 5 would have probably been a little more, firm. I think 1 is almost like a tap on the wrist, and that's probably that Florida stuff going on, right? But at the same time, the thing that really hurt me, but I understand, is when the guy said, "I'm gonna move," Mr. Emmanuel. He said, I have to move because I don't want to live across the street from a memorial where thousands of African American people are going to come. I'm going to move from this area. But so at least he told us who he is. So he ain't trying to be reformed.
But that's the thing, though.
But it was about his grandkids. We wasn't talking about him. He's not going to change. We talking about his grandkids,
that's the thing, though, Danny.
His grandkids may see the difference, though.
Listen, man. If you are someone like this person who doesn't want to be around black people and is willing to act violently if you see them, then how I don't understand where this historian Mr. Dunn, Marvin Dunn, is coming from with this, because it's not like the dude has showed any contrition. He might go somewhere else and do the same thing. This attacker.
That's why he should have got more years.
His grandkids. You're doing this on behalf of his grandkids, and so they get to have their grandfathers. Should they be learning from their grandfather? Should they be spending time with their grandfathers? I don't think so. Just because you're related to somebody don't mean that you got to be spending time with them or that they should be in your life.
I agree with you.
So yeah, I just think, man, this dude. Thankfully, they weren't hurt, but he tried.
Yeah, he tried.
He tried.
He need more time though. I think about 5 years.
So let's go to Mimi, who is calling us from the state of Florida.
Oh wow.
What's up, Mimi?
Hi, Avi. Hi, Danny. How are y'all?
Doing great. How about you?
I'm doing pretty good. I want to say, Mr. Dunn, I think that was God. You know, the grace of God. And as a Christian, I can say, you know, I think you can be a Christian and still people have to suffer the consequences of what they've done. Mm-hmm. And a hate crime it's serious. It's racist. You know, he could have hurt them. He could have killed them. And so sometimes you have to set the example and say, hey, this person needs to get more than 6 years, to just let somebody else know, if I do this, I may get 10, 20, 30 years.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, I think this, if this person doesn't pay for this, our whole history in this country is us being asked to turn the other cheek. You know, it's us, you know, being forced to live with these and expecting them to change when they're the ones doing something wrong, and we're supposed to just let it go. But I don't think we can let everything go.
No, it's so much stuff going on. He needed more time.
Yeah. Thank you for the call, Mimi. Appreciate it. Especially this happened in your state. So stay safe out there, Mimi. You know, it's a lot. It's always this is just another Friday for Florida. So you stay safe out there, and appreciate you hanging out with us.
Thank you.
All right, take care. Have a good weekend. So I mean, when we were enslaved in this country and we would suffer attacks like this and much worse than this, lynchings obviously at the hands of white people, and there would be no consequence. They would make up some claim that we assaulted a white woman or something, and they would have carte blanche to do whatever they wanted to us. And that's what they did in Rosewood. They claimed that someone in that community had assaulted a white woman or harassed a white man or something like that. And so they burned the town down and killed dozens of black people, including children. So this is especially given that this was at that spot, I think it's even more significant and why that dude should have been sentenced to the full 10 years or more. And I am not someone who believes in, you know, when I see people hugging their family member's murderer in the courtroom and saying and crying and saying I forgive you, that's not me, man. That's not me either. And I can't do it. And I'm not saying that people who do that are wrong. I can't identify with that. And I don't know, man. I guess I just the fact that he didn't even want an apology. If you want I could see maybe if you're saying, okay, if this person apologizes to me, then I will accept their apology and I will ask for some leniency on their behalf. But you're saying, no, I don't need an apology. No, I just want you to to not attack me again. Let's go to Daryl here in LA. Welcome, Daryl. What's on your mind?
Hey, I forgiveness don't work against racism. Bottom line, it don't work. I mean, why? I think that was real selfish for him to give this guy a pass. in spite of, in lieu of what they're representing. He's representing, if you're trying to represent the people that was wrongly, that was wrongly accosted in Rosewood.
Right.
How you gonna freaking forget this guy, dude? That doesn't make any sense. Why are you even? And you are intelligent, dude.
Right.
It
Right.
reminds me of that. It reminds me of that dang old guy, brother, Bolton John's brother. Wanted to get his white girl, a pass, man, for shooting his brother. This dude in his house eating ice cream.
Right.
She comes in and busts cap.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's the wrong house. Man, look. No, forgiveness don't work in racism. It doesn't work. Racism is going to be here long after we're gone. So don't even think that you forgiving this guy going to give anybody any justice. It won't even give you any justice because you belittling your cause. If you're giving him a pass, this is what you're supposed to be standing up for. If not for yourself, it's for all the people that's been lynched, hung, beat, and wrongly accused. It's too much. They don't get a pass for that. Man, dang, that's so upsetting.
I hear you, Daryl. I hear you. Hey, Andy, can you pull up that?
Sense.
Can you pull up that applause that you do for Robin's show, man? Because I completely, I agree with Daryl wholeheartedly. I feel your frustration, Daryl, and I agree. You know, no, go ahead.
No. I'm done.
All right. Thanks for the call, Daryl. Appreciate you hanging out with us, and thanks for calling in. 800-920-1580 is the number to call. 800-920-1580 is the number to call. We will continue this conversation. We do have a couple more callers on the line, and we will get to you straight away after this news, traffic, and sports update. We're going to continue to talk about, would you forgive a racist attacker if they're attacking you? Or if they attacked you and called you the N-word, are you asking the judge to give them less time? A lot of people got opinions on this. The phone lines are getting pretty full. So we'll get right to your call right after this on KBLA Talk 1580.
Areva time is the right time. More of Areva Martin in real time when we come forward.
I'm Tyreek Wynn. Here's the latest on the Black Information Network. Former Raiders defensive end Chandler Jones, who is black, has been arrested in Las Vegas for the second time in 2 weeks. Booking logs show Jones was arrested Tuesday on suspicion of violation of a domestic violence protection order. The suspect, said to be responsible for the killing of rapper Tupac Shakur, who is black, is having an arraignment delayed again. Dwayne Davis appeared in a Las Vegas courtroom earlier today after his initial argument was rescheduled. However, the lawyer Davis brought to represent him told the judge he needed 2 more weeks to decide whether or not he would be his attorney. Illinois Congressman Jonathan Jackson, who is black, is calling for the federal investigation into Texas Governor Greg Abbott's program of busing migrants from the U.S.-Mexico border. Jackson delivered a letter to U.S. Attorney General Merrick Garland and Homeland Security Secretary Alejandro Mayorkas yesterday denouncing Abbott's actions. That's the latest. I'm Tyreek Wynn on your home for 24/7 News, the Black Information Network.
A brush fire through downtown LA, 101 North at 1st Street. Your right lane remains blocked on the 101 northbound side. That brush fire is burning behind a wall, so you have a lot of smoke through the area, not a lot of visibility for it. Stop traffic coming away from the 5. Baldwin Park, 10 East at the 605 connector. An accident here off on the right shoulder, but the delay reaches Soto. That's going to be a 25-minute delay on your drive.
JP Morgan Chase is building on the investments in California to help close the racial wealth gap and build a more equitable future. Visit jpmorganchase.com/racial equity and get the tools to help reach your financial goals.
$10 says your local Staples now accepts Amazon returns. Now when you return an Amazon order at Staples, you receive a coupon for $10 off your next Staples purchase of $30 or more. Exclusions apply. Staples, your new favorite place for Amazon returns.
Is this the KBLA Sports Minute with Ray Richardson.
I'm a bad man.
In case you didn't know, there's a high school in South LA called Maya Angelou High School. The school, built in 2011, is named after the legendary author, poet, and civil rights activist. Maya Angelou's football team is 8-0. They're closing in on the first undefeated regular season in school history and a spot in the City Division II playoffs. Maya Angelou goes for 9-0 tonight at Sotomayor. NFL owners gave Commissioner Roger Goodell a 3-year extension. That should give him more than enough time to keep working on the NFL's sad hiring practices of black head coaches. Only 3 of the NFL's 32 teams have a black head coach. Revenge game tomorrow for USC. The Trojans play Utah at the Coliseum. Utah beat the Trojans in last season's Pac-12 title game. The loss knocked the Trojans out of the college football playoffs. No debates, no speculation, just the info you need. That's your KBLA Sports Minute. I'm Ray Richardson on KBLA Talk 1580.
Follow the leader. KBLA Talk 1580. Follow the leader.
If you're not following KBLA Talk 1580 on all of our socials, then you're missing out. Download our app and find us on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, and on the web at KBLA 1580.
That's right.
Again, you can find all of our socials at KBLA 1580.
We've got a lot to talk about.
By the way, if you miss any of our weekday shows in real time, you can always catch up by checking out the podcast of your favorite shows at your leisure. At KBLA Talk 1580, we've got your black.
Got your black. Follow the leader. Oh my God. Follow the leader. Follow the leader. Follow the leader. Follow the leader. Follow the leader.
Only 1 in 5 people with autism are employed, despite many having the skill set and desire to work.
Maybe it's because employers don't know what kind of jobs they can do. Like, what about a programmer?
That's a job for someone with autism.
How about a healthcare worker?
Yep, that is too. People with autism can do a lot of different jobs, but often get overlooked due to outdated stigmas. Introducing WIN by Autism Speaks. We help businesses lead the way in inclusive hiring.
What about a ranch hand?
To learn more, go to autismspeaks.org/win.
Now. We tend not to think about now. We dream about tomorrow, relive yesterday. But right now in front of us is victory over cancer. Right now, cancer research funded by the V Foundation is leading to better treatments and saving lives. Victory over cancer is there for the taking by you, because today's cancer research is tomorrow's victory. Learn more at v.org.
Don't give up. Don't ever give up.
If you're like me, 60 and retired, making ends meet, especially here at the supermarket and drugstore, is tough. I'm so blessed to have found benefitscheckup.org. It's a free and confidential website from the National Council on Aging that connected me to $1,200 a year in programs that help pay for food, medicine, utilities, and more. Maybe it can help you. benefitscheckup.org.
Anyone can choose to make a difference. You can help people succeed, rebuild after disasters, protect the environment, or feed the hungry. Not only will you make a difference for others, but for yourself. You can earn money for college, learn career skills, and make friendships that last a lifetime. Make a difference. Choose your future. Choose AmeriCorps.
Hello?
Man, where are you? I thought you were coming.
I can't. I'm in bed with the flu.
The flu? Whoa. Grandma's about to crowd surf. Man, I'll call you back.
Don't get stuck at home with the flu. A flu shot is safe, effective, and you can get it at the same time as your COVID-19 vaccine. A flu shot is the best way to prevent the flu and its potentially serious complications. Don't get flu FOMO. Learn more at getmyflushot.org.
Brought to you by the AMA, CDC, and the Ad Council.
You're listening to Areva Martin in real time on KBLA Talk 1580.
Back on the Friday edition of Areva Martin in real time. Avi Bernard here with you every Friday from 4 to 6 p.m. Pacific. Joined by Danny Griffin, educator, entrepreneur, and motivational speaker, talking about this incident in Florida in which a black historian was assaulted by a white person, and the white person drove their car at him full speed. Thankfully, nobody was hurt, and that doesn't change the fact that it was a racist attack, and you could have been hurt, you could have been killed. And this notion that someone served, this whole attempted murder versus murder thing is interesting to me, because if you try to kill someone and you're not successful, you get less time than if you kill someone, which on one level it makes sense, because you didn't kill anybody, but also you just failed. You just failed at killing someone. And but anyway, I digress. We're talking about whether you would forgive, and not only forgive. It's a step further than forgiveness, which is why this is remarkable to me. It's not just saying, you know what, I forgive you for what you did. It's saying not only do I forgive you, but I don't want you to suffer as harsh of a penalty as the law is saying that you should. And this is in our justice system where white people don't usually suffer the same consequences. But you're saying, even in light of that, I don't want you to suffer as much. And interested in what you have to say about this. Fahima, you're on the line. What's on your mind?
Thank you for taking my call, Avi, and it's good to see you, Danny.
Hey, how you doing?
Good. Good to see you and hear your voice. Well, Avi, I have to respectfully disagree. The professor didn't say that he wanted to give this person a pass and have them get less time. You know, and I put in the chat that hatred and vengeance is like taking poison and expecting someone else to die. Now, if the person apologizes, then you accept their apology. In this instance, the guy had no intention of apologizing, so why would he want his apology? He just wants to live in peace. And forgiveness is not for the perpetrator. It is for you. It is for you because, again, hating and vengeance is simply taking poison and expecting someone else to die. As Danny had mentioned, Dr. Dunn is a distinguished elder. He's seen a lot of things, and he's at a point in his life where he understands that vengeance and being angry and hatred is not going to serve anything. And I think he's the higher individual here. And I think the reason why he got a suspended sentence or a low sentence is because those police officers who were writing letters on his behalf and not the position of Professor Dunn.
So I take your point, Fahima, and I love that quote about, you know, it's not just hating people, but holding grudges is like taking poison and expecting it to affect the other person. But you don't have to hold a grudge.
Absolutely.
You don't have to hold a grudge. You can just say, "Oh, you did that? Okay, well, go serve your time. Go ahead. I'm not. You can still get over it. You can still forgive him yourself."
He left it up to the courts. He didn't plead for mercy for the guy. He just simply said, you know, I don't hold any grudge. I'm not expecting apology. I just want to live in peace. And he is the superior individual in this instance.
He's a superior individual, but that doesn't mean he's right. I mean, he is asking the judge for mercy. He may not say, "Oh, can you give him less time?" But he's saying, take it easy on him. You know, it's.
I don't think so. I mean, Dr. Dunn, if that's what he meant, he is perfectly capable of articulating that. He stated his position, no more, no less.
Well, I appreciate the call, Fahima, and it's always okay to disagree on this show, and we appreciate you hanging out with us and for your perspective. 800-920-1580 is the number to call. 800-920-1580 is the number to call. I'll read Dr. Dunn's quote for you again, at least the one that was featured in The Root. It said, "For me, my faith requires forgiveness, and so I must. It requires me to love my neighbor as well, but I have more work to do on that. I am not asking my neighbor to love me or even to apologize to us. I only ask that he assures the court that we can live in peace as neighbors." Close quote. So, why... And we can get into semantics about this, Fahima, but why do you want to live with neighbors, as someone like that? I mean, you're basically saying that we can move forward. And I'm saying if someone calls me the N-word and tries to kill me, we ain't moving forward. Well, we're not doing a KBLA, and when we come forward, we're not doing that. We doing when I go forward with my life and you go in a different direction. But what's up, Andy?
It just kind of reminds me of the Dylan Roof situation. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Sitting in the congregation with black folk and, just open arms, not knowing what he's really about to just go ahead and do. Mm-hmm. That's just kind of hard to kind of forgive that situation. You know what I mean? So,
yeah,
it's tough.
I agree. Tony is on the line from LA. Thanks for holding, Tony. Where do you come down on this?
Yes, I look at it like this. This is a white problem. And that's where the root of the problem is, white people. And we've been going through this stuff. We're going to keep going through it. It ain't going to stop. And it's a white problem. And I believe what Malcolm X, I believe what he said. Martin Luther King, we marched and slapped on the wrist, and we still got this problem. This problem, severe things need to happen to white people. And I'm going to tell you something. We need to quit calling each other the N-word ourselves. See, they think it's okay to call us that. We need to stand up. And it's a white problem, and white people need to address this problem more serious, the white people that are not like that. There's a lot of white people don't feel like that.
Right.
But we got to get serious about this, because this ain't gonna stop. I'll tell you that, until severe things happen. And I agree with everybody that talked. I would forgive him, but I would want him to have severe punishment.
Yeah.
You know, I said, I can forgive you but you ain't, you got to understand, you can't go around thinking you can just do anything to black people.
Right.
Now, see, and I'll say one more thing. I don't want to be violent, but when they were hanging black people down south back in the 20s or when all the time, if black people would have went back and hung some white boys down there, the government would have got into it earlier and tried to stop that. See, severe things need to happen, because a slap on the turning your cheek, they put a foot in your you know what? They put a they ain't going. You say they got to beating us with whips. What do you think they care about us turning the cheek?
They don't. Yeah.
So that's why I look at it.
Yeah.
I hate that, but I'm hoping. I'm gonna say this one more thing. I'm hoping that white people, because it's a white problem, because they're insecurities. They're afraid for black people to come up and all that. That's a mental problem, but it affects us physically, mentally, and everything. They're the cause of this, and they need to address this with their own people. Because one day black people gonna get tired of all this. It's gonna be a lot of mess. Mark my words, because these kids, if they can kill each other, don't think they won't kill white people. One day they're gonna think like that.
All right, Tony. We appreciate the call. Thank you for calling. I really appreciate it. And the conversation about whether or not we should say the M word is a conversation for another day. But I do understand that that's a topic of conversation, and maybe we'll do a show on that. But yeah, I have to always say that I don't condemn violence. But I do agree that, to your point, Tony, about if white people were being lynched, then that would have changed sooner. That would have stopped sooner. I do agree with that on some level, that most white people aren't capable of empathy unless they see something happening to themselves. So with them seeing it happening to black people, it doesn't feel like a problem to them. But if they see it happening to themselves, then they'll take it more seriously. And that's the whole thing with missing white woman syndrome, and a lot of the problems we have are because people can't empathize. So Howard's been holding on the line for quite a while. Thanks for your patience, Howard. What's on your mind?
Hey, how you doing, Avi? How you doing, Mr. Griffin? Hey, great conversation, great topic. I'm doing great. No, me personally, in my opinion, I would ask the judge to make an example out of him, because if he would have had friends or family in there in the room, and you get 5 days or whatever, then they're going to think that that's going to happen to them, that they can go out there and run over somebody or assault somebody, a African American, and then they just go to the courtroom and say, "Hey, judge, give me my 5 days." Nah, that ain't gonna work. So because there's so much hatred out here, and examples need to be made, because we need to root it out, in my opinion. So once we root that out, then we can move forward. But if you give somebody a slap on the wrist for them violating somebody else's civil rights or whatever, then it's going to continue. It's going to be a continuing cycle, and then we're going to be talking about it again. So, in my opinion, the judge should have threw the book at him and said, we can't tolerate this in our society. go sit down for 20 years or whatever and think about it.
Yeah.
So, y'all have a wonderful night. That's my 2 cents. Y'all have a wonderful night. Great show.
All right, you too,
I
Howard.
appreciate
Appreciate you hanging out with us and calling in. Really appreciate that. All right, let's.
Always.
Yes, sir. So I agree with most of the callers, man. I think. First of all, I don't want to hog the mic, Danny. If there's anything that you want to add to anything anyone said.
Well, I understand, but sometimes when you know better, you do better. And I was blessed to be in Iowa when I coached at UConn, and we met a friend of Aaron Thomas, the son of the high school coach that was killed by his own player. And he gave me the book that was written by the son. And so my thing is, I have never seen an act of forgiveness like this. They have a 30 for 30 for it on ESPN about when the coach was killed, and the family, the family that whose son did this all played for the coach. They all went to the same church, live in the same community. So once the son was arrested on murder charges, he's in jail. Everybody, of course, was angry at the family. This family went over there, prayed with this family, embraced them. The community embraced them. The son was like, let's pray for this family. It brought this whole community together. And I met a friend of the high school coach son, and now he's the principal at his dad's school, and he teaches Sunday school where his dad was a deacon. And I'm looking at, even though they were both Caucasian and this is a smaller community, not as a big urban area, it's about the lesson. It's not about the race of the people, it's the heart of the people. Because when you have a good heart and you're a good person, regardless of your religion, that's the thing that translates. And from this story, a lot of people haven't seen this story. So, like, if you watch the story tonight, Avi, and next time we get on the radio or you text me and we talk, you may have a different perspective. Because I was the same way, but I know the Ed Thomas story. I'm telling you, man, and I've been to Iowa, and I met those people that was directly around this situation. And it was chills in my spine just talking to these people, because forgiveness is deep. Like, you know what I'm saying? These people lost their dad. The community lost their hero, their high school coach, and they embraced this murderer's family, right? And that's unreal. And we're talking about a guy forgiving a guy for calling him the N-word and missed his son. He's alive. And we can't get over that. And this man lost his dad, and he embraced the killer's family.
I can't get over it.
He embraced the killer's family, man.
Family.
Ed Thomas.
Family. That's one thing. Embrace their family. Yet family doesn't always have to do. Isn't always responsible for what their family members do.
No, you understand what I'm saying, though. It's just something to look at. So I encourage the audience to look at this Ed Thomas story. It's on ESPN, the 30 for 30. I've never seen nothing like it in terms of forgiveness.
I'll watch it. I'll watch it.
Please watch this. Please watch this.
But see, this is the thing, man. You got police officers writing letters of recommendation for this racist person.
No, I get it, but that's a systematic thing they got going on in that part of Florida.
And everywhere.
Yeah, in a lot of places.
And so that's why they're already going to be on their side. If you ain't got the melon, they're going to be on your side. So,
that's true.
But before we step aside, quickly, let's go to Daoud, who's calling. Appreciate you holding, Daoud. What's on your mind? I hope I'm pronouncing your name correctly.
Yeah, that's correct. I just wanted to say that I think that the judge was too lenient, and like him asking for just a light sentence for this guy was a big mistake. To me, you're only giving this guy permission to go out and do the same thing to somebody else. He can get away with it this time, but hey, tell him what could happen the next time he tries it, because he might succeed. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So all I'm saying is in my philosophy and my spirituality, there's no forgiveness without atonement. Okay, you got to do something to make that right. If you want to be forgiven, then you got to atone first. That's the bottom line.
All right, well said, Daoud. Thanks for the call. Really appreciate it. 800-920-1580 is the number to call. 800-920-1580 is the number to call. We will wrap this up when we come forward right here on KBLA Talk 1580.
She's the real deal in real time. You're listening to Areva Martin in real time on KBLA Talk 1580.
We're celebrating 1 year of the K. From checking out the vibrant art and diverse dining in Lamert Park to cheering on your favorite team in Inglewood, you can choose your own adventure when you ride the Metro K line. Leave the car at home and go Metro. Visit metro.net/K-line.
At City National, we listen to you.
I want to expand my business and my legacy.
I want to set up the next generation for success.
I want to see my vision come to life.
I want to feel right at home. Your goals, passions, vision, future. We want to hear it and work alongside you to achieve it. Visit cmb.com to learn more. City National Bank. Here for our clients and communities.
My mom has decided to learn to paint, and she's good.
My dad's now into creative cuisine, and I've already put on 6 pounds.
Learning new things comes with age.
My mom, she started forgetting my name and what we're talking about.
Forgetting well-known things doesn't. Memory loss may be a sign of Alzheimer's disease. Early detection gives you and your loved one time to plan for the future. Learn the warning signs of Alzheimer's at 10signs.org. Brought to you by the Alzheimer's Association and the Ad Council.
What is dedication?
My biggest fear in the middle of my addiction was that my kids wouldn't have a father. And I started thinking, you know what? This isn't my story. I definitely had to become a better man to be a better father. It's important to me that my kids are empowered and truly believe that if they can think it, they can do it.
That's dedication. Visit fatherhood.gov to hear more. Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services and the Ad Council.
Is your eyesight changing?
I can't read this anymore.
Don't lose hope. People just like you are working every day using Braille, screen magnification, speech technology, and other tools and blindness skills. Your eyesight may have changed, but your goals, they don't have to. We can help. Visit us on the web at blind.org. The National Federation of the Blind. Live the life you want.
Turning my pain into purpose is pretty much what I have done to start this foundation.
In August 2020, after the death of George Floyd, Bridget Floyd and other family members established the George Floyd Memorial Foundation in support of the Black community.
It's going to take more than just us as a foundation. It's going to take the community, the world, to make a change.
Fight for racial justice for the Black community. Learn how at lovehasnolabels.com. Brought to you by Love Has No Labels and the Ad Council.
There's no time like the present. Let's get back to more of Areva Martin in real time on KBLA Talk 1580.
Back on the Friday edition with Avi Bernard here. Friday edition of Areva Martin in real time, that is, on KBLA Talk 1580. And I thought we were going to get some other topics, but we're not, because everybody is blowing the lines up, and we're talking about whether you would forgive someone if they committed a racially motivated attack on you, including calling you the N-word. And to Dawood's point, there has to be some atonement when something's done wrong. This is the issue with reparations for me, is that they want us to just forget about it, just move on. And we're saying, well, we should get some restitution for what happened. And most white people are like, no, but it's over. Just get over it. And we can't just get over something. I think there has to be some kind of atonement in Dawood's words. Nikita is calling from Long Beach. Welcome, Nikita. What's on your mind?
Hi. I am of the same ilk as Dawood. In fact, we go to the same temple in L.A.
Hey, all right.
It's kind of just crazy that I recognize his voice and that he was there. But we are too forgiving of people. We are always turning the other cheek, and these mofos ain't gonna learn because we're too forgiving. We're too forgiving. We can't keep turning the other cheek. Like, no, I'm not hugging someone who's calling me the N-word or who murdered no. There has to be some repercussions, and I do believe in forgiveness. Yeah. Yes. But we cannot keep looking the other way, turning the other cheek. We can't keep doing that. That's a big no.
Well, thank you so much, Nikita, for the call. I really appreciate that, and thanks for hanging out with us today. The whole thing about forgiveness, I agree. Go ahead and forgive, but that doesn't mean that they shouldn't suffer those consequences. I don't think you should be seething and holding in this, because that is bad for you. That can cause your body stress and physical harm. But I'm not going to step in. I'm not going to cry for you. if you get sentenced to a long prison term. Barbara's calling from Orange County. What's up, Barbara? You are live.
Hi, Ivy. I've been abused like you wouldn't believe, and I've had to forgive, but there's always that residual. I thought I forgave. Now, there's been a number of companies that I've worked for, and you walk down the hallway and some white person or some Asian person crosses over and slams into you. And you know they're doing it on purpose. And it's gone on for a while. At 3 different companies, I done had to let them know I'm not the one. So this big white boy at the company that I'm at now kept walking down the hall, and he outweighed me by more than 70 pounds. And so one day I'm coming down the hall, and I see him coming. I laid into him like a linebacker, shot the hell out of him. He never did it again.
They say low.
Okay.
They say in football they say low man wins, Barbara. Just so you know, if you got the leverage, you get lower.
Malcolm said, you make that white man take his foot off your neck. He'll take his foot off your neck. Okay? That's all I have to say.
All right, Barbara. I appreciate the call and the perspective. And the callers
got a revolution.
Callers took it all the way to the top today.
Serious.
Yeah, we were going to talk about Stephen A. Smith calling.
Man, that wouldn't work like this. Man. This is the people want to hear, man, because this happens to everyday people every day where you have to forgive. And this is a lot of people with this burden they're carrying this.
Yeah, exactly.
You can't carry that.
You can hear it in people's voice, man.
When
people do wrong to you and they don't get any kind of repercussion for that, it stays with you.
Oh, for sure.
And that's why I think this conversation is resonating with people. And like I was just gonna say, I just want to say it because I teased it. I said we were going to talk about Stephen A. Smith calling Whitlock a no good bastard or whatever he said. We'll talk about that hopefully next time we got Dr. Fletcher on the show in a couple weeks. But really good conversation. Really appreciate everyone for calling in. To put a fine point on this. If you attack me and call me the N-word, you deserve everything that comes to you. And I'm not stepping in. I will hopefully be able to move on myself, whether it requires therapy or anything else, any other form of mental health practices, meditation, all that. But you can go ahead and sit in that jail cell. Go ahead, and hopefully read a book and encounter some individuals who help you change your mind about all those racist ideologies you have. Danny Griffin, thank you so much for hanging out with us today.
Man, anytime. The Sacred Acre, Ed Thomas story. The Sacred Acre.
The Sacred Acre.
Yeah, like an acre of land, the Ed Thomas story. And let's see the callers call back in after they watch that. And I want to hear everybody that just called in today. Call me back in 2 weeks.
Man, that documentary changed nobody's mind, Danny.
It might.
It might be good, but we're not going to change our mind on this one. You and Fahima are on your own.
We're in the revolution.
You and Fahima are on your own on this one, brother. But we still appreciate you. When we come forward, the Raw Report with Robin Ayers is going to provide you with all the latest entertainment news. Have yourself a fantastic weekend. I'm Avi Bernard, and I am gone.
KBLA 1580 Santa Monica.
I'm Tyreek Wynn. Here's the latest on the Black Information Network. Some People's Gas customers are giving some pushback to a record-high proposed rate increase. If passed, bills could increase to $11 each month for the average customer starting next year. People's Gas say the rate hike is needed. They say pipes in Chicago's heating system are outdated and are corroding. Democrats are